Hey, hey, hey. So happy Wednesday. The show is pre recorded, as you just saw. And sorry I'm so close. I haven't figured out my angles yet. Clearly, I'm on location. So let me do my intro stuff and then we'll come back to where I am and what I'm doing. So this is Wednesday, the 16th day of February. 16th day of February. I don't know why that went out of my head. And this is the 33rd episode of season 3 of the Be Your Own Hero show. And I'm your host. I'm sekouwrites. I am a professional creative and the creator of the Hero Ministry Movement, which is my effort to uplift and inspire the unhoused community. HERO is an acronym. It means helping everyone reaps optimism. In other words, helping others helps you. It's a reciprocal action. As you help others, you help yourself. Trust me, it works. Anyway, shout out to New Thought Media Network for allowing me the space and the opportunity to be here to talk about my journey of becoming my own hero. Their website is ntmedia.org. It is a 501c3 nonprofit, so feel free to make a donation and help them continue this good work that they do. All right, all that said, check me out here Monday through Friday, 9:45 a.m. Eastern and 8:45 a.m. Central and 7:45 a.m. Mountain to see me talk about my journey. And just a reminder, I'm sharing with you my journey, but I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm simply sharing what has worked for me, and in many cases, what has not worked for me, in hopes that you get something out of it that's helpful to you in your journey. All right. All that said, please like, please comment, please share, please spread the word. All those things help the algorithm. They help the show grow and they help the network grow. Okay. So all that said, this is season 3 again, and season 3 is the doing season where I'm talking about things to do, actions to take, and specifically actions to take in your financial world. Because for whatever reason, this show has become a show about abundance mindset, about wealth, and about changing your financial circumstances. Okay, so I'm on location. Clearly, I'm on location, and again, the reason I have my glasses off is because I couldn't figure out how to get the glare off my glasses. I may have to rearrange the room for the next show, but but we'll get there. I'm on location in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm here with Nissan. Shout out to Nissan for bringing me out to Jackson, Mississippi. There are about 5 or 6 journalists who are here with me, maybe 5 or 6 total. Anyway, we flew in from various parts of the country, Nashville, obviously, Atlanta, Ann Arbor, Michigan, I think. I'm forgetting, oh, Miami. I'm forgetting a couple cities, but we've come here from everywhere, converged in Jackson, Mississippi to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Nissan Foundation. Here we go. First show and tell moment of the show. Nissan Foundation. This is a notebook that they gave us today. It was in the gift bag. Maybe I'll pull something out the gift bag every day to highlight. Anyway, this is one of the things from the gift bag. It's a notebook from Nissan. Look, it's got Nissan Foundation on the front. And it's got the Nissan logo. Can you see that? Yeah, on all the pages. Very cool notebook. Anyway, it's the 30th anniversary of the Nissan Foundation. The Nissan Foundation, as it sounds, is a foundation created by Nissan to do good work. They were created in 1992, and since then they have given over $13 million in money to various nonprofits, all of which is around the idea of diversity. The idea of diversity, helping people understand and value what's different about all of us. So I'm very curious to learn more tomorrow when we go to, well, you know what? Let's save tomorrow for tomorrow. Let's stick with today. So today we all converged in Jackson, Mississippi, and we went to the Nissan plant in Canton. I just want to make sure I got the name right because it's similar to another city I know, so I just want to make sure I got it right. In Canton, Mississippi. So we went to the plant in Canton, Mississippi, and it was very, very interesting. I've been to automotive plants before, but this one really struck me. So let me come back to that. Let me do all the things I usually do, and I'm gonna come back to it. Obviously, this is going to be a special edition of the show because I want to talk about Nissan a little bit. So what I would typically do is shout out to all the heroes in the chat. But again, this is a pre-recorded show, so I don't know who the heroes are, but shout out to everyone who's watching and everyone who's watching the replay. Don't forget, the show is always available on Facebook and on YouTube. So run streak, when you see this, it will be day 261. But since it's pre-recorded, I have to do this in reverse a little bit. So yesterday, meaning today for me now, when I'm recording this, is yesterday for you. So on day 260, I ran my mile in the 4 a.m. hour before my Uber picked me up to take me to the airport in Nashville. And I'm glad I did that because once we arrived in Jackson, it's been busy and I didn't get a chance to run again because I was going to add some more miles. But I was like, let me run before my flight just in case. I'm very glad I did that. Okay, so you're seeing this on day 261 of my run streak. It's been cool that there's been some interest in my charity run here within the group. Some people are aware of my run streak, which is also very cool. And so we'll see what that brings, both in terms of the charity run for Mr. Charles and in terms of the run streak. And I had a really good conversation with some of the folks here today about how can I phrase this? About how to expand the story around the run streak. More to come. Let's put a pin in that. Okay, so other things I want to talk about. Mornings in, yeah, we talked about the 4 agreements. Just to recap, the 4 agreements are: be impeccable with your word, with yourself. Be impeccable with your word to yourself. That's better. Be impeccable with your word to yourself. Take nothing personally. It requires willpower. Take nothing personally. Don't make assumptions. Also requires willpower. And do your best. Those are the 4 agreements. It's a short book, but very powerful. Check it out if you haven't already. Don Miguel Ruiz is the author. Okay, so we talked about that. We talked about a few different things, but I think I'm going to just talk about Nissan now, because I would typically talk about the mornings in, but I have a mornings in that's really from my experience with Nissan, like something that really resonated with me. So if I may, I'm going to take a bit of a departure. Oh, I've got more show and tell too. I just remembered. So during the tour, I was struck by the number of robots that they use in the plant here in Canton, Mississippi. And there are different types of robots. There's kind of the big, bulky robots that you've probably seen on TV that do the kind of the heavy lifting, but there's also smaller, more refined robots that are doing more detail type work. And it's also mobile robots that drive around and carry things from one area to another, one part of this vast factory to another part of this vast factory. So it's fun watching all the robots do what they do. And I was listening to one of the employees talk about why they use so many robots, basically. And he said that what they're doing is they're onboarding more and more robots to do the non-value added work and free the people up to do more value added work. So what does that mean? First of all, no one's getting fired. I was concerned about that. I did ask. No one's getting fired. So it's not about replacing the employees, at least not here at this plant in Canton with Nissan. I don't know what's happening with other companies, but with Nissan, they're not trying to eliminate anybody. They're trying to augment. And so the way that they're doing that is by introducing more and more technology that takes some of the minutia off the plate of the employees and lets them focus on bigger picture things. Now, the reason that struck me is because it reminds me of our talk about high income skills. Remember, I guess it was a couple weeks ago now, maybe even a couple months ago, where I discovered and shared with you high income skills. This concept of maximizing a skill that you have or can get that does not require a college degree, but can earn $100, $100 an hour, or $10,000 a month, or $100,000 a year, whichever of those numbers appeals most to you. But it can earn a significant amount of income, again, without a college degree, and therefore move you to a different level of financial security. So the reason why the value added conversation reminds me of high income skills is because it's about being specific and choiceful. And I think these two concepts go together. So back to the Nissan example. I actually asked for an example of what's value added, what's non-value added. And so the example they gave me was like the robot is doing the labor of putting together this door, let's say, right? Just putting it wasn't putting together the door, it was sealing the door. So like if there was a moon roof and they wanted to make sure that there was no water coming through it. So they were making it more efficient by having the robot seal the moon roof, right? And then that frees up the person who would be checking every seal on every moon roof that came through their station all day. It frees them up to just make sure it was done correctly by the robot. So it's the same work, but you've eliminated much of the strain of doing the work, right? So you've got these two parts, the non-value added part, the small minutia, and then the bigger picture part. And if you apply that to high income skills, then what you would do, this is my intellectual leap, my intuitive leap, what you would do is outsource some of the minutia of your high income skill so that you can focus on the bigger picture, so that you can focus on the value added things. And that's not something I thought about before when I talked about high income skills. I just thought about just learning the skill and mastering it. And sure, that's great, but I really like the way Nissan has it divided, this kind of demarcation between what's really important for adding value, what's really high level, and what's more minutia. So my intention, having said all that, is to continue working on some of my high income skills, but also outsource some of them minutia. Like I might hire some people to do some small things so that I can keep my focus on the bigger picture things that only I can do. Because if I keep doing all the little small things, I won't have as much brain power to focus on the bigger picture things. And that was a great lesson that was driven home to me by the way Nissan does their thing, by the way their hierarchy is set up within the company. I thought that was really dope. So I don't know if anyone else in the group felt the same way about those comments, but they really struck me. And obviously, I'm still talking about it, still thinking about it. So shout out to Nissan for that insight, and I will take that with me and do something with it. And just generally, shout out to Nissan. We've had a good time. We've done a couple meals together. We did lunch and dinner together. We've experienced a number of the vehicles in moving from the airport to the hotel to the various dinner places. The car that I'm in is the Nissan Armada, which is one of their bigger SUVs. It's been really nice. You can check my social media. You can see some images and some video of the Armadas. And yeah, it's been fun. So that's a period. That's a period end of my inspiration slash morning zen that was inspired by Nissan. And now typically I would talk about abundance, right? So let me do that. It's still going to be about Nissan. It's still going to be about Nissan, but let me do the introductory stuff. So there's this affirmation that we've been doing. Let's do that together. I hope you guys are doing this at home. Hope you guys are reading this out loud at home. All right, let's do it. I am so happy and grateful to be a multimillionaire in every area of my life. I am so happy and grateful to be a multimillionaire in every area of my life. And my usual quick reminder, if you only spend, you'll stay poor. If you only save, you'll stay middle class. But if you want to become wealthy, you must invest. It's not optional. As we've learned on this show over the course of the past 3 seasons, it's not optional. Okay, so Winning Wednesday, abundance, and how it links into Nissan. This is so fascinating to me because just yesterday on this show, I told you about doji candles, right? So let's go find a doji again to remind you what it looks like. This, my friends, is a doji candle, right? This is one of the many candlesticks like this, one of the many candlesticks that make up the candlestick system for reading the stock market. This is the doji, right? Which means, oops, that still tickles me. Anyway, so we're riding in this tram around the factory, and I saw something move near my feet. And I reached down and found a bolt. And here is the bolt, right? Picked up this bolt. And you know what really tripped me out? The first thing I thought was, oh, it's a gravestone doji. What? So it's working. This process of immersion in these financial terms is working. First thing I thought was it's a gravestone doji. Well, I guess the first thing I thought was, where did this come out of? Are we good? And then the second thing I thought was, this looks like a gravestone doji. Okay, to explain, dojis, these come in different shapes and sizes. They're always flat. When you look at the green and the red line, they're always flat, flattish at least. But there are different variations, combinations, permutations. And this is one of them. Like this part is a bit fat for a doji, so imagine it a little bit thinner. But this long candle wick in this formation with the flat bottom part and a long candle wick for the candle, this is called a gravestone doji. I don't know what it means yet. I don't, but I'm getting there. The fact that I looked at this nut and thought, oh, it's a gravestone doji means that I am getting the hang of this candlestick system, which I just put back up on screen, which is great because it just reminds me that it's just a learnable skill. It's just a learnable skill. And it seems so daunting, but the more I study these candlesticks, the more I'll be able to make sense of this. One day soon, I'll be able to make complete sense of what this means. I have faith in that. Okay, so just recapping, this bolt reminds me of the shape and size of the gravestone doji, not to be confused with the dragonfly doji, right? When the cross is at the top, it's called the dragonfly doji. See, I'm learning. And also shout out to Nissan for the wisdom around outsourcing the non-value added tasks to get them off your plate so that you can focus on the really important things. We did the show and tell here. And here is another show and tell quickly. How am I doing on time? I'm doing okay on time. This is what they call at Nissan, at the Nissan plant, a sleeve. A sleeve. It's what it says on it is a super glove, This is a super glove called the Contender, made in Canada. But they had us put these on when we got there, and I was fascinated by these because they're made with Kevlar, which is the same material that they make bulletproof vests out of. And apparently, everyone who works on the floor of the plant is required to wear these so that it will help prevent any nicks, cuts, scrapes, etc. Right? So not only are these cool, yet again, it reminds me of kind of a higher thought, which is pretty simple, but still profound. The simple thought is you got to be prepared, right? Don't wait for the thing to happen and then fix it. Just be prepared. And that doesn't mean that you're inviting bad things. Just be prepared. So that's physically here with this glove at the plant, but it's also spiritually with you in your daily life. If you stay grounded all the time, fewer things will be able to pull you off center. Right? Yes, I got that from this glove. So there's symbolism in everything when you open your mind to it. Okay, so that's enough show and tell. There's a couple of different things. Envelope challenge people here. I brought my dice with me. It took me a while to find it in my luggage, but I brought my dice with me. So let's see what the number is for today. Envelope challenge 1. Another easy day. 1. So again, you are transferring $1 from your checkings to your savings into your investment bucket, and you are building up to a certain amount, and then you're going to invest that money because investing is the path to wealth. It's the path to wealth. Which reminds me, as I say that out loud, we need to be investing in robots because I asked how many robots there were, and there were like 2,000 robots just in this plant. 2,000. And some of them, I call them pandemic robots. And people laugh, but they're pandemic robots. They just were onboarded in May of last year. So some very recent additions in terms of robots. So I am going to make it my business to find an ETF or index fund that addresses the robotics industry. Oh, I bet you Kathy Wood has one. Kathy Wood is like, she's been called the female Warren Buffett. I bet you she has one. Anyway, I'm sidebarring now. It's late. Let me close out and get some rest. We got a long day tomorrow. I'll definitely be pre-recorded again tomorrow. But stay tuned for prayer time right now. And circle back for Sit with Rev Melissa, where she'll be producing herself since I'm traveling at the moment. And remember to keep doing. Be a hero. Be your own financial hero. Remember that now is better than perfect in terms of investing. Invest today. All right. I think that's it. Later.